Premise of story. The events of The Prisoner of Azkaban took a different turn. That night was not a full moon. Lupin never transformed into a werewolf, and Peter Pettigrew was never able to escape. Sirius's name is cleared, and Harry is able to spend most of his summers at Grimmauld Place with Sirius. Day 1. It's the day before I travel back to London on the train, and the first time ever that I am looking forward to the summer. So much has changed now. On that fateful night, once we got back to the castle with Sirius and Peter Pettigrew, who was tied up, we spent hours with the Minister of Magic explaining the whole story. At one point, the now conscious Snape tried to get the Ministry to hold Sirius accountable for small wrongdoings he had done whilst on the run, such as stealing and breaking into the Gryffindor common room. Stupid kid. But it was thankfully all dismissed under the fact that Sirius was still considered a wanted criminal and he had no choice. After speaking to the Minister of Magic in the early hours of the morning, Sirius and myself sat in Dumbledore's office. It was at my request. I could not possibly go on without knowing if I could truly live with Sirius. Dumbledore filled Sirius in on something I had not fully understood before. As long as I called the Dursleys home, Voldemort could not touch me. The sacrifice that my mum made for me the night she died was carried in my blood. Blood I share with Aunt Petunia. However, for now, Dumbledore was willing to test the bounds of this magic. He asked me to leave my most valued possessions in that house, so that unconsciously, even a small part of my mind and heart still knew the Dursleys to be home. So I could indeed spend my summers at Sirius's family home. Sirius was beside himself with joy. I was so happy my head felt light. Dumbledore said to me that he would write to Aunt Petunia and explain the whole new arrangement. They would be thrilled, I'm sure. So tomorrow I go to the Dursleys, 12 Privet Drive for 2 days. Just 2 days! I can't even believe my luck. It's almost like a dream. It's there I will pack most of my things, leaving behind a few possessions that are a part of my identity and close to my heart. Day 2. Uncle Vernon picked me up from King's Cross Station yesterday morning. By tomorrow evening, Sirius will be outside, ready for me to apparate with him. Although this would be safer done in the house, Uncle Vernon forbids a known criminal in the house. "Not one toe in the door," he kept yelling in the car on the way home. I have decided to leave at the Dursleys the photo album of my parents Hagrid gave me the first year of Hogwarts, a perch of Hedwig's that I sometimes use when she visits me in the Gryffindor dorm room, and my Nimbus 2000. That one was hard. But Sirius promised to buy me a new broom. The best he could find, he promised. I also added to the pile a surprise possession I didn't even know I had. Aunt Petunia gave me my baby blanket. This is the blanket that Dumbledore wrapped me in when he left me on the Dursleys' front doorstep. It was a little old, tattered, but clean and so soft. My heart did hurt to leave it there, but I suppose that it all fits with Dumbledore's advice. Aunt Petunia knows she has to keep these items and not throw them out. I think she will keep these things in a box under the stairs. Day 3. Sirius met me outside with my trunk at 7:23 p.m. yesterday. I know the time because I did nothing but look at my watch for an hour beforehand. My hands were shaking with excitement as I walked down the driveway to the street. Sirius noticed my shaking straight away as he took my trunk handle from my hand. Sirius was dressed up in a freshly pressed white shirt and a black waistcoat. He looked like he was already putting on weight and beamed at me as he said, "A happy day for both of us. No doubt your parents are watching with pride today." I couldn't respond. My throat closed with excitement and disbelief. We walked toward the local Little Whinging children's playground. This area was the first place I saw Sirius, in the form of a black dog just over 1 year ago. Behind the children's playground is a vast park with lots of trees. This was where we disapparated, my heart beating 10 times faster than a snitch's wings. Day 4. The first night at Grimmauld Place was wonderful. Sirius offered me 2 rooms. The first, his brother Regulus's room, and second, a room that took up the full 5th floor. This huge upstairs room also had a small bathroom and 2 large cupboards. Well, more space than I could possibly have asked for. I was unsure at first and chose Regulus's room, as it was closer to Sirius's room. Sirius responded to my choice, saying, "Don't get me wrong, although it might be fun to have a secret knock that we use through the bedroom walls, I think with what you and I have been through in the last few years, best we spoil ourselves with some space." In the end, I took the huge bedroom on the 5th floor, and Sirius used his wand to make his room bigger and encompass his brother's also. As we stood in Regulus's old room, Sirius moved his wand back and forth in a small horizontal burst, saying, "At Kingdon." The old bed popped and vanished. Regulus's possessions flew out the door to what I could only imagine was up to the attic. Then one wall disappeared, joining Sirius's room to now be a much bigger space with even a new purple velvet reading chair. That night, Creature made us meat pies with green peas and mash. It was mouth-watering. He might be an odd elf, but you can't complain about his cooking. Mr. Weasley sent an owl saying they will visit tomorrow. Ron then also sent me an owl with Errol that said the words, "Got big news tomorrow, related to Quidditch." Sirius seemed to know what the news was going to be and reassured me that I will love the news. With a cheeky smile, he said, "Perhaps a trip. I can't even imagine. Looking forward to seeing Ron tomorrow. Harry James Potter."